I'm going to adjust this a little bit. We'll see what's going on here. And welcome to those of you that come in. Okay. Circle of death already? We just started. I hope we're not going to have circles of death all day. I hope that's not what's going to go on. Mr. Wilson, good morning. Thank you for being number one, being the first one in here. I appreciate that. And hopefully we don't have that circle of death going. I don't need that today. Got enough issues. But it did say that I was not getting I was only getting 87% of my normal viewing amount. So I'm not sure why that's I'm good just now. Okay, well, that's good. If I go into a death spiral, just remind people that I will bring it back up, okay? And they'll just have to look and they'll see it back up again. Don't know why that happens. I've got backup streaming and everything else going on, so I don't know. I've got a secondary router streaming that goes through actually through a Los Angeles streaming system, so I'm not sure what's going on besides that. So I mean, one should kick in, the other one kicks out, sort of like a generator. Anywho, I've got some fun things to show today. I see the bottle opener kit. I did not see that yet. They're not brilliant. Okay. Is that the golf ball? Is that the golfing one that I've been hearing about from Strong Ink? I've seen Mims was doing one of those too. Oh, I guess I should keep this up here. So let me know if that's what you're talking about. Right now there's just the two of us in here, so we can talk all we want. But there's we got a third person in here. We got a third person in here now. So that makes we're up to 3. Yay! Yep, puttering. Yeah. I've seen a couple people doing that already, and yeah, I'm not sure. I was going to do a pin comparison. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it, but I have a Strong Ink pin, and I have one from a unmentionable local California, United States company that gets their stuff overseas too, and they're basically the exact same pen, but one weighs definitely more than the other. And I was going to put them both on a scale and kind of show how Strong Ink's pens are a little bit heftier, a little bit better built. But I'll probably have that out in a few days. I've been working on a couple other things. I'm working on some mallets and all. So anyway, well, now we got some people in here. Yeah, there's a few unmentionable companies. Yes, they're his. So now we got some people in here. I thought we got 3 different things here in the turning circle today. But I wanted to bring this one up because this is the one we turned last week. Okay, this is and it still feels magnificent on the outside. I just love every time I pick this up. I just feel it feels so nice. It's almost a glass finish on it. But 1 week out, I'm going to show you here. This bowl is 7, not even quite 7 3/8 this way, just under 7 3/8. Okay. This way it is 7 5/8. It has gone a full 1/4 inch wider this way than it is this way in 1 week. And if you look here, I don't know if you're gonna hold that up to the bowl. See if I can hold it so you can see it right. You see that peak? You see how much that jumps up? I don't even know if you can. there you go. You can see how that has risen. See the crack here? That has risen. That's just right where the pith is. And so it has risen up. So all the moisture is coming out of here. And if I take measurements of the moisture content, I get different moisture counts at different places. This right here, this thick part down here, is still registering about 18%, while some of this places are registering on the side grain, is registering 9-10%. So what's happening is all the moisture is coming out these end grain parts here, and it's pushing up and out as it does it, and this is pushing a little bit in. So this is where we're getting the oval circle. So I will have to put this back on and return this. But we also have this one that we've had for several weeks, and I've had it drying and drying and drying, and it is at 9.5 or 9 3/4 inches this way, but this way it is only about 9 and well, it's over 9 1/4 inches, just over 9 1/4 inches. So it has also gotten oval. The back is a little oval. When I turn it, you'll really see how oval it is. But the best way to see that is to look at this dip here and how high it is on these sides. I don't know if you can see that, but it's just, that's really what it's at. So let me catch up to everybody here. Yeah, with California heat. Well, this has been in my air-conditioned house most of the time. It's been out in the shop, too, and it's also been microwaved and a few other things. Hey, Mike, nice to have you here from Whacking Shack. Don't forget, Whacking Shack, crazy fun Sundays, spun days, I should say, on Sunday. And so check him out on Sundays. And during the rest of the week, too, he's been doing some really great turnings lately. Uh-oh. The one we say here is right. Yeah, well, okay. Good luck with that, Michael. Let's see. Who else is in here? Everybody ought to say hi. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. We are still trying very hard to get to 5,000. We are about 80, I'll say 83 short. So I wanted to put this back on here today before we get into one of our other newer bowls. And I want to just kind of show you and see what we can do to kind of get this back into shape. But watch first. You see how out of shape it is. Here's my finger. It is really out of shape. So we got to shape the outside of the bowl, and then all those cracks, we got to shape the inside of the bowl again. It's basically starting all over again in a sense. I had to really cramp down on the chuck back here to make sure it was holding in, because there's a split right through the middle of the tenon on this one. So we got a split in the middle of the tenon, and we have to work accordingly. So let me get this adjusted here, and I think just until we get this steadied up, I'm going to go ahead and bring up my tailstock. Make sure I'm clear. Okay. I'm going to bring up this tailstock, and it's not too doesn't need to have a really strong connection to it, but I do want it to have a connection in here. Use that. Just want to kind of hold it in place a little bit. Just give me a little extra protection and to give it a little more stability for that tenon on the back, so we're not putting too much stress on it. Okay, so I'm going to put on my helmet. Turn the light on for you here. Like I said earlier, if we do have a problem with the connection, because it did give us a little circle of death earlier, if we have any problem with the connection, I will start up the show again. So Just wait a minute or two and hang in there, and we will be back. Okay. So let's. Okay, I'm going to come up from the back side here first. I'm not wanting to do anything too dramatic on it. Okay, just want to see. Still bumping just a little bit, but we're getting it down there. It was quite a difference. If you look at here, I'm going to try and hold this straight. Look at that gap. Look at this drop off right here. That much drop off, and then it comes back to even, then it drops off again. That's that much of a drop off in this top. See if that looks a little bit better. Still have a little bit of a drop off here, but it's getting better. Okay, so now I can work on this edge here. Okay, see how we're doing? Looking here for a second. Let's see. Anyone for you to out at the with the random symbols that get displayed? I'm not sure what those are. Other than the stuff that's flying off of my paper, my wood, maybe that's it. I don't know. Perhaps you are being watched. YouTube seems to be taking a big interest in some of the things that are coming out in the wood turning community lately. They don't want to promote us, but they like to see what we're doing. I don't know why. They sure don't promote us much. Okay, got this turned a little bit back here so I can get a little bit better, more back here. I think I can turn the speed up a little now. Maybe just a little bit. you have an asymmetric grind on your tool, on your gouge, you can then use that as a scraper for making some of these scraping or smoothing cuts on the edges. Ooh, gotta be careful there. I'm going to give this a little bit more of a look. I think if I can. Okay. We're getting close to getting rounded. So let me bring out this tool. I got a big old crack right here. It runs this way and it runs this way. So I got to be kind of careful as I'm trying to clean up some of this. Creating a little bit of a curve. In the wood. Okay. It's coming along. Don't have a lot to work with. I got a little bit to work with, so I gotta kind of. Whew. So how is the temperatures in your parts of the world? We were running around 105 yesterday, I think, something like that. Stuck around pretty long too, but we also got smoke in the air from a local fire. So, yeah, please tap the like button. I appreciate that. And please, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Be one of the last people to get us to 5,000. We're getting so close, and I'd really like to hit that 5,000 mark this month. Tomorrow's my birthday, so give it to me as a birthday present. Okay? Tomorrow is my birthday, and I can think of nothing better than seeing that I got that last 80 subscribers. We're also going to be doing some more things on the members section where we do a little bit more behind the scenes work and have a couple of videos up that you get to see before I put them out. I stopped doing videos for a while because nobody's watching them. And YouTube doesn't push them. YouTube pushes shorts. They do not push long form videos anymore, which is kind of a shame because I think those are much more instructive. They're much better viewing. I mean, for me, I learn more when I'm watching a well done, 15-minute video than I do from watching a 3-minute short or a some other form of communication. Okay. We're getting rounder. We're getting flatter here. It's getting closer. I'm getting a little more shape. And, do a little draw on this again. Sorry if I'm not talking much right now, but this is kind of taking my attention away a little bit. I'm watching these cracks, and you'll see when I turn this around, you'll see what I'm talking about when I say cracks. There is a ton of cracks in here. Okay, let me see if I can get this cleaned up on the bottom side here just a little more, and then we'll start to clean this up. There we go. Okay. Got just a little bit of a curve to this. Man, those are all the brakes in here are all pointing out this direction. They're really hard. There's just so many cracks. But we're going to try and keep this together. We are going to try and keep this together. So now let me concentrate on the inside here for just a minute. There we go. See if I can. Clear there, okay. This is kind of hard to get in here and do this, but I'm gonna. There we go. Just trying to flatten out this inside period just a little bit. This is really hard wood. Oh, I tell you, that's a little warm. Okay, so I got that kind of cleaned out a little bit. You can see there's not too many cracks on the inside right now, which is good, but there's cracks on every side wall on here. Sorry for getting in the way of the camera. I apologize. Let me move the camera down into a better position here. I'm sorry about that, guys. Didn't realize I was blocking you off. 1.12 K per short life. Yeah, that's about what I'm getting also, Wilson. But some of them only get like 300, 400, 500, and then others get 2,000. So it's kind of like all over the place sometimes. Hi, Paul. How you doing? Good to see you in here too. Hey, Dan's wood turning's in here. Good. Sorry, got my head in the way there, guys. I apologize, and hopefully this will be a better view for you. Okay. So, yeah. As you can see, got quite a bit out of there. Let me get some of this into the trash can here. Okay. So, okay. So the next is we're going to, well, I don't really need to treat this crack anymore. I'm just going to leave it the way it is. But I do need to get some sanding done on this outside. Take some marks off. And then I think we can go full bore on the inside, and we'll just trim this down as best we can. But I do need to make sure that I got my outside nice and clean. So I'm going to use my skew here. Go back over here. There's a good view, okay? we can go up around 800 or so. Flip that over and use the tip a little bit more. Okay, let's see how that goes. Oh yeah, that's a lot smoother. Took a lot of the tool marks off. There's still a little bit in here, which I think I can get with this. Trying to give the bowl a little bit more of a nice curve on the outside. Okay, so we will sand this a little bit. I know you guys don't like sanding, but sanding is what we do. Interestingly, I was watching Mike's on the whacking check the other day, and he was sanding. His number of people viewing actually went up while he was sanding. Kind of odd. So let's see if we can do that here. Okay? See if we can get more people to watch while we're sanding. make sure this doesn't come out completely as I'm burning this. That bit wants to come out of there. So we're going to be kind of careful. Okay, next sanding. Of course the battery dies out. Oh, we got another battery. Already starting to shine. I can see it shining a little. Already getting a nice smooth feel to it. Okay. I'm going to do one more grit, and then we will switch. We'll do one more grit, and then we'll put a little oil on the outside, and turn off all that noise. So you can hear me again. Not that you really want to hear me, but you can anyway. Okay, so we're going to put a little bit of a tung oil finish on this. Let that creep down into the cracks and crevices. There's a little bit of a finish on there. It looks kind of pretty again. And you'll get a chance to see what it looks like a little bit. There's a lot of cracks. I'm trying to make sure the oil gets down into there. Although I know it's going to come flying back out at me when I go to turning on the other side, but I want it to get down in there and penetrate. This is a very hard wood. It doesn't take penetration of the oil very well. It does it very slowly and only on the edge grain, mostly the end grain. But you'll get a chance to see what this looks like in just a minute. And sorry you don't see it right now. And I'll put a little bit on here so you can see how that changes the color. we go. So, I will get back to the comments here in just a second. I'm sorry I can't really read them while I'm doing this. I get my shield's not the best for reading with. So let me get this on here and we'll let that soak for just a minute. I'll catch up on your comments. Pretty, pretty, pretty. That is pretty. Okay. So, I'll take my helmet off. Do that for a minute. I'll loosen this so you can kind of see what this looks like so far. That's see the colors and the finish on there. Okay. So far, we've weathered the cracks. So far. Okay, so let me kind of catch up with you here a little bit, see what's going on. Hey Jim, how you doing? Jim from Soldier Farms. Great website, our channel site he's really starting to build. Should check him out. Alex, hey, how you doing in there? Alex, I'm going to see you tomorrow. You're going to be at the meeting, hopefully. I'll need the support because I'm running the meeting. Hey Eric, good to see you, Eric. Lots of you in here today. Great. Bring your friends in, please. We need to get some more subs and more likes. So please, everybody, hit the like button, bring in some subs, and let's kind of grow this a little bit. All right, we got 88 showing. Would like to have a lot more, but that's a good start. Okay, so now we got to go to the inside, and much as I hate to say it, I think I'm going to have to do it without the tailstock here for the rest of this. Well, let me take the tailstock off. Set it aside. And we'll change gouges. And we'll turn this around. Go like this. It's a little bit long, but there we go. I don't like to be more than about this far out in front of the tool rest. Any more than that and you're really extending yourself and getting a chance to get pulled way down. So always try and keep that close and in. Okay? So let's try and get this inside done. This is the one that I had sitting in the bucket for a few weeks in the with the shavings and all, trying to use that method for drying. But I can tell you right now, this is not very dry in here. 11%. So it's kind of dry, but it's not great. Not getting a number there. 11, 12%. So it's down quite a bit. It's not 20% or anything like that like it was. We have a semi-dry piece of wood now. And let me get this raised up. Trying to take that down. Slowly. See here, that's what I meant about being too far away. You know, far out, I mean. It doesn't give you good control. I might switch to a different tool rest here. It maybe gives me a little bit more. I've had a busy spider in there the last few days. Yeah, cover this up. I think that would work a little better. Let's see how that works. I've got to make sure that everything clears. And let's try that. I think I'm going to move your camera angle here just a little bit more so my head doesn't get in your way. Okay? Let me know how you think of that. Thump here. I sense a crack coming here. I sense a crack coming. Mike from the Whacking Shack the other day was saying that he's trying to get back to traditional tools and getting rid of his carbides and using more of the gouges, which is a great thing to do, but I think you can use all of them. It's sort of like trying to do doing a whole project with hand tools and no power tools. Yes, you can do it, and it's a good challenge. And it gives you a sense of accomplishment doing things the old way. However, I would remind most of you that this lathe here is a lot different than the lathe that they had even 30 years ago. And if you look at the old Craftsman lathes and stuff that were out there, totally different equipment. The chucks are different. What's this? See, Alex, see. Okay, good. I'm thinking of bringing my bowl. I finished with. Yeah, I think you should bring that. I think nothing else you can get. And it's really good, Alex. I appreciate it. I hope you do that. Dan, what have you been working on? I think I'm going to lower this down just for some reason. I'm getting some sort of vibration in my. I'm not quite sure what it's coming from. Chuck staying through. Okay. I think the chuck is staying through. Looks like it is. Okay. I'm not sure where the rumbling is coming from. You hear that? Or you see that rumbling? I'm not quite sure what's causing it. I'm going to reassess my tenon just to make sure. It's in nice and tight. It's not moving. Okay. What is it rubbing against? Rubbing against something. There we go. When you're dealing with a piece of wood that has as many cracks in it as this one does, you really got to be careful. Those are nice ribbons, aren't they? Really nice ribbons. Still looking pretty good on the inside. Where all that crack and all that misery on the outside of this wood, it's interesting that we have nice wood on the inside. It just goes to show you cannot trust a piece of wood. I think it's about time to this blade, this gouge. I gotta be kind of careful here. And I better check it. So I got this one spot where it goes apart. And I cannot go, I don't want to make a hole here. Right now I'm still pretty far away from it, but I gotta be through here and shaping the bottom part of this bowl, or I may end up with a real problem. So I think I'm going to sharpen this right now. What's it say here? Let's see. You wonder what I'm turning at? Turning, it's like a lot of other, pick it up and then you don't want to stop. You just keep going and going. Look at the Mike from a woodshed. He was a wood worker mostly, and then he became a wood turner. And now he has a lot of fun just turning wood all the time. Still does other things. We all do. We all do woodworking. Turning is one of the things that I enjoy doing, and you know, at my age, I get to do what I want. So I'm going to go sharpen this real quick. It only takes a few seconds. I know I show this all the time, but I'll show you again. I have my little jig here. That makes it exactly 2 inches. So that this angle that I have this at is exactly the same every time. Turn on the CVs on my slow grinder. When I say slow grinder, it's like about, I think it's like 600 RPM or something, but they call it slow grinder. And we just want to put a new edge on it. It's going to make a big difference. Just in the home stretch part of the turning. I need to do that just a little bit more. Try and get that little polished edge there. Nice thing about the CBN wheels is they don't get as hot. Let's see if that helps. Okay, let's see here. Okay, see it. Problem is, as we go deeper here, we're going to encounter those cracks we saw on the bottom of this thing. I think we're getting into that bark inclusion I was talking about earlier. See, that is right here. And I'm starting to see that bark. So we are getting real careful about kind of bringing this out a little bit, so I don't have to cut through that. So we're going to kind of bring it slightly lighter as we come up here. Okay, so that kind of gets the idea of it. We are pretty near the bottom. So I think that's about as far as I'm going to be able to go. Okay, so let me use a scraper tool here to try and clean that out. You see how that scraper gets right in there and cleans some of that out. Rid of it. They did a lot of work on it first. I mean, this is very wet, by the way. Where we were at 12% earlier on the surface, we are now at 24%. This is very wet right in here. So we went from dry wood to wet wood very quickly there. So this is going to move some. This probably will not move as much anymore as it did. And perhaps with a little bit of microwave work, and thank goodness this is wet. This is kind of wet. And it makes it a lot easier for the scraper to kind of take that down. We are getting very thin right there. I need to do is a little bit on the sides. I think we'll be in good shape. I think I'll use my other side scraper here. Okay, I think we got the sides in pretty good shape, the top in pretty good shape. The bottom, still a little bit of a hump there. We'll get that out, and we'll be able to move on. Remember, this is just the first bowl today, guys. We have more coming. Okay. Yep, I think that's probably about where we're going to have to stop. Only because of this inlet right here on this bark. Otherwise, I'd go down another 1/4 inch or so at least in this bowl. But look at these shavings, beautiful shavings that we got. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Take this out of the way. Take this out. Put the tool away. Okay, let's sand this up and see if we can't put a little finish on it. It will probably try to grow a little bit more, work a little bit. Okay, I don't think that'll affect the look of this piece. Now I was really glad to see the cracks that come through. If the cracks had come through, obviously we'd have any more to deal with. But that was the whole practice of the point of this bowl is, even though there's a lot of stress cracks on the outside, doesn't mean you can't get a nice bowl out of it. And there's that character on the outside of it. So high in there, it's there. I'm going to put this in reverse. I will get back to the comments in a minute. I want to stop and take a break. Okay. Go down to the next one. Go to the last one. This is more or less just going to have a mirror finish. I'm not going to take much off at this point. Okay. Finished it up at about 1200 RPM. That is really smooth. It's like glass. It really is. It may not look like it, but it does feel like it. So let me put a finish on this. And we'll be putting some other finishes on this going down the road, but so now I want to just do this, and then we will probably be microwaving it, get it to release more of its moisture. But I just wanted you guys to get to see what it. Problem is when you put it in the microwave, the oils start leaking back out of it. It's kind of weird, so you have to like really have a towel around it when you're in the microwave so that you don't end up with a bunch of tongue oil leaking out on your microwave. But this will hold the wood together. It'll slow the process a little bit of the drying. We'll get it out in that California sun, and it'll look a little nicer, and it will dry a little better, and hopefully it won't crack in the process. But I think we've dealt with the cracks pretty well. And well, it really sucks it in right here. It really, as fast as you put the oil on, it disappears right in that area. Right there. Let that kind of soak in a little bit. See what all the things you guys are writing for a minute, and then we'll move on from there. Now you can hear me better again. Okay. Oh, I saw a circle of death there. So, guys, we're back, obviously. Hi, Suzanne. Yeah, a lot of sweet shavings. You're right, Dan. Yeah. So I got the while you were away, I'm not sure, but I got the tongue oil on here. Looks pretty good. Yeah, the grain is awesome. It's a beautiful bowl. And we got some more pieces of it to turn, but we're gonna true up this one just a little bit next, and then we're gonna go into the big bowl. This one, I'm not sure if this can hold a turn at all. I mean, look at this. It's a piece of oak burl. It's a leftover piece, and I have some better pieces, but I wanted to turn this because it's got great color and great grain in here, but it's also got these huge voids. I mean, I poured some liquid down into here, and it just kept disappearing and disappearing and disappearing. So I'm not sure where it went. It kind of came out down here a little bit, so this could be hollow all the way through here, and if it is, we'll see what we can turn out of it, but I'm just curious, and when I get curious, I have to hook it up and see what we can do. So that's just what I do, okay? So you're gonna have to live the journey along with me here a little bit, okay? So I'm gonna slow down this turn. Okay. And I'm going to off this chuck. Chuck, you did a good job there. Okay, you see the inside of the bowl. See, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful bowl. Love these colors. And this is the outside of that bowl. Now look at these cracks. All these cracks. Look at this one. It's on the tenon. This is what was on the tenon. Okay, all these cracks on the bottom side here were a piece of wood. And I'll even put them a little bit closer for you to kind of see. Look at the size of these. Okay, and yet we turn the wood, even with these cracks, side, and it's a nice solid bowl still. Now, it's still green wood. It can still move and it can still crack some. So I'm going to treat it, microwave it, keep it from losing moisture too quickly, and we'll see what happens. But there you go. There you go. So this, when you take a really ugly bowl with holes in it and you turn it, and this is what you get on the inside. Okay, so I hope that's a good lesson for some of you turners out there when you're trying to throw away a piece of firewood or something. Now, this piece, which I'm hoping I can still mount properly. Turn. And like I said, you can see how much that is. It's at least 1/4 of an inch out in an oval. From here to here, it's 1/4 longer than it is from this side to this side. So I'm not going to keep it trued up a little bit, just so it doesn't get out of hand later. Okay, I think that'll do. All right. So let's we're just going to do a list. We're not going to finish this bowl off today. We're just truing it up some before it gets too out of hand. Okay, so give me a shot here. Yep. see, there's more at the top here. It's more than there is at the bottom. The bottom is more is less movement. Right here at the end. That's nice. Let's see how we're doing. Okay, I think I can go with this skew now. Okay, it's not going to be perfect, but it is going to be rounder. Okay, that's the whole idea here. I just wanted to get this before it got too out of round. So it'll be easier to no, can't use that. Maybe this scraper would be better for inside here. I think I need to go up a little bit more in speed. There we go. There we go. Okay. Now again, I'm not trying to make it perfect again. I'm just trying to get it rounded out a little bit, make up for a little bit of the stuff that's coming up. There. And I think we got it generally back into round again. And that's all I really wanted to do with this. No sanding or anything else. This is just a touch-up right now. Make sure the tenon's holding well and that I can still fix up the outside of this and the inside. It's going to be a beautiful little bowl when it's all done. You see we have these cracks here that we're dealing with that are coming onto the inside also. So I'm going to deal with those a little bit. I think I will do my little magic trick with the wood glue here since I got the shavings already. I think we'll fill this up with glue. And we'll do all of these. Okay, we'll be doing the outside again anyway. We'll be shaving it up one more time. We might as well fill them in a little bit now while we have the opportunity. Put that in there. Make these nice, pretty fine shavings. Put them on there. Push them into the wood. Push them into the wood really well. Kind of brush them off this way. I think I'll do it one more time. Let those set. I got one on the other side here that I guess I should address too. Look at that big crack here. We'll go ahead and address this one also. It's going to continue to move a little bit because that's right where it grew since the last time we turned it. We'll let that set up and dry for the rest of the day. Maybe I'll do this on my birthday or something, or the next day, something like that. So we're just going to set that aside to dry. Take this chuck off, and we'll get into the star attraction of the day, which is this piece of oak burl. See if we can't get through it. Oops. Trying to get you a little bit better picture here, if I can. we are. What's it saying in here? Let's see. You like ugly wood? Yeah, I do too, Mike. Yeah. Did someone say Corvette? Oh, I said. Yeah. Okay. Yes, cracks in the right places. Well, I'd say that about most people. And if you have your cracks in the right places, it probably increases your value as also, doesn't it, Mike? Or doesn't it in general, folks? Just joking, just joking. Okay, so we got this piece. We're going to have to take this down in stages. So what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to try and take off this little high mark right here. That'll come off. Kind of try and round it off just a little bit. Then I'm going to push in here, see if I can find a stable spot to put a tenon. Not necessarily true if I can, but we'll see. This is actually the outside of the wood. This would be the inside. This is the outside. This is the bark right here of this burl. And that was a very big and very old burl. And let's see what we can make out of this. I don't know what we can make out of it, but we'll make something. If nothing else, we'll make a lot of sawdust, right? See, we can tolerate pretty good speed there at first. To see how it's going to take it. Well, it's going to be funky. That's for sure. This isn't even flat, right? This is like curved out this way, so I gotta deal with that. Let me make sure that my curtain is drawn here, because I know the plates are going to fly in all directions. Try and go faster, but I'm not sure if I can. Let's see. Stuff could really start flying. I tell you, that hurt. Good. Those big pieces coming off of there hurt a little bit, but we're getting rounder. We still got this big hole here, but we are getting rounder. Yeah, that was a run. Whew, that was a run. Is that Troster? Remember, I'm the one who asked you who in the world. Oh, yes, yes. Well, as we saw, Spain won it all, didn't we? Well, thanks for coming back in. And if you're not subscribed, you should be. And if you are, thank you. And for the rest of you, if you're not subscribed, you should be also. It doesn't cost you one dime. That's kind of unsupported. I really shouldn't do that. But. Yeah, I'm starting to. I'm starting to see the beginnings of a shape. I can look up here and kind of see a shape now. So that's something. Let me come around here and get this bottom side straightened out. Just a little bit. I'm going to have to tear out some of that. Okay. So we got kind of some sort of a bottom here. Okay. I think I'm going to stop for something to drink real quick, and I'll catch up with you guys and see what you're saying. All you remember to keep hydrating, even while you're doing a live. It's real important. So what's it say here? It says, oh, thank you for the gift memberships out there. I do appreciate that. I'm sure they do too. Is that you, Dan, again, doing that? Thank you very much. Rhinestone is Susie's back. Okay, hi Susie. As you can see, we switched pieces of wood. You can see the prettiness, what's pretty in this wood. Why I really want to turn it. I just don't know if I can get enough of a 10 in here to make it into one. Okay, so I'm going to have to see what I can do here. And if I can't tin in it, I might have to attach a faceplate to it, and nobody will notice the holes anyway. So that just may be the way we'll go. But I'm going to take this down just a little bit. And we'll see what we can come up with. What do you guys think? You can see the dark in here. And when you put a finish on this, that dark really pops out. Now I could have put an acrylic, I could have dumped this in acrylic, taken it out and then let the acrylic, harden and all that. But I'm just not a big acrylic fan, and I don't like mixing my medias if I don't have to. But I've done it, and I've done several of them, and they sold. But it's just not my thing. And being as we're in California, it's really hard to separate out your trash when it's got wood and it's got plastic in it. And I can guarantee you, if you not to get political, but if you elect Newsom as the next president of the United States, you too will be sorting your trash into 5 or 6 different buckets, if you're even allowed to have trash. After all, they've outlawed bags and everything else in this state. You can't get plastic bags. Taking stuff off, but doggone, my whole hold is right there in the center. That's where I need to have my tenon, and that's where I have all of this. So I can't really make a tenon on it. So we're going to have to go to Plan C. We can't even use Plan B on this one. Can't do an exterior or an interior tenon on it to get any kind of purchase. If I did an interior tenon, I don't think I'd have enough wood here or here, because I think that's something that's hollow. I don't think I'd have enough to hold this. So what I think I'm going to do, what I think we're going to do, and this is you guys can chime in too, but I think we're going to do is we're going to put a so I got this nice and sand. I'm going to put a another one of these on the bottom, like this, and I will use that to hold it in place. And you won't see this, or if I need to, I can always put felt on the bottom to cover up the holes. It's not my favorite way of doing it, but I think it's the only way we can do it on this particular one. Now the key here is, how do we get the dead center? Well, couple of ways. This being, I think, the easiest. We're going to take this compass. Now, if I got this right, this is about 1 inch. Yep, that's right at 1 inch. Okay, good. That means I'll be almost dead center. Maybe just slightly off, but I think we'll be mostly dead center. So now we got to find the center of this, which is right there. Okay. Okay. And that shows me where to put this. Okay, and we should be pretty close to the center. For a visual thing, I'm also going to put a little mark there too. That just helps me visually a little bit. Okay, we're going to take this off. The reason I don't want to get this perfectly round on this end is because it's going to be a little bit off when I put this on anyway. So we're going to take this off. Since I'm already using those, I guess I can just use that one again on the other side. I'm going to turn this around. Put that on there so I can't see the pencil marks. Be as close to the center as I can. In place. Okay. Put this one here. And up there. Now it's not going in the direction. I hopefully got the middle. I don't know. If I'm a little bit off, that's just what it's going to have to be. We'll just deal with it. Right? We'll just deal with it. Now this is only going to be in. Oops. That wasn't good. I'll just get another screw. That is good. Only going to be in about that much. So it's not going to be really deep. Okay, we are in. We're going to switch this around like so. Okay, now let's see how far off we are. Yeah, we're off a little bit. That's okay. We were going to be off a little anyway. Okay, We'll just take a little bit more off the outside, clean up the middle, we'll be fine. Sometimes your best plans don't always work out exactly right. Okay, put the helmet on. And let's go for it. Get off the curve in here and shake that up just a little bit. There we go. I think we straightened that out a little bit, made it a little nicer. Okay. Okay, let me use a skew here just a little bit, just to get a little bit cleaner. Good. As much banging as that was, that came up pretty nice. Okay, we're going to go to the inside of this bowl, see if we can't turn it. Or if we can't turn it. The alternative. Okay. What do we got here? Shirtless. I hope that's somebody else you're asking to be shirtless, not me. Oh, I was standing board one day and spilled half of the paint on both my hubby and oh yeah, the shirt's got. Well, this is actually a turning smock. It's over a shirt, so I use a turning smock because I can take this off, shake it out. I don't have to take it in the house. Right now, to be honest with you, right now I'm wearing an EKG monitor on my chest, so I can't have it exposed anyway to all this stuff. I'm kind of taking a chance just exposing it to the dust out here. So yeah, so wish me luck with my EKG, but that's kind of what I'm keeping an eye on right now. But I don't think I'd ever shirtless or pantless. I don't know. Maybe we do maybe one night we do a pajama challenge. Everybody come out to their shops about midnight or something and turn something in their pajamas. What do you think, Mike? That sounds like something the Shoops would be in for. Sort of a pajama party for turners. Pajama carving? I don't know if I want something sharp that close to any part of my body, but you know, each their own, I suppose. You know, I'm going to have to sharpen this one too. This has been through 3 turnings and I haven't sharpened it, so it's about due. This one's getting a little short on me. And I may have to turn it into a specialty. I may have to turn this into a specialty gouge here pretty soon. It's getting the best of me. After about 300 turns, 300 turnings, it's starting to get a little short. It's a little bit longer than I thought I would. I think they may have slightly bounced my sleeve here for my sharpening. We'll leave it at that for now and see what we can do with it. look at all this that I'm running into. That's going to be a little bit on the dangerous side there. So we're going to be a little bit careful. If you could, please hit that like button. Like to get to 100 likes today if we could. And please subscribe. We really need the subscribers. You know what? I'm going to... Mike, don't hate me for this. I'm going to use the carbide just to see what it does. I'll go back to the gouge. I just want to see what this does. And I wanted to get this flattened out here. This is what I was concerned with. The solid wood is right here, with these holes. These holes are big. And I got to make sure I keep the integrity of the outside of the bowl going too. So as we go through this, I'm going to be looking at a lot of different things all at once. Okay. Everyone say hi to Mrs. 2 Minutes. Mrs. 2 Minutes is in here, so say hi to her. Unless you get your head down here. You can...
I don't get my head down. Where's my phone?
Here's her hand.
I don't see it.
You'll be in there in a minute.
Oh, okay.
So, anyway.
I just want to see. I didn't tell you now.
Okay. Eric says hi.
Hi, Eric.
Okay. Let's see here. Now let's see if we can pick the speed up just a little bit. I don't want to get too carried away here, but I do want to get in there and get this roll done. This is very, very hard wood. I honestly don't think that a tenon would have held up to this kind of beating, to be honest with you. This wood is very, very, very hard. It's ancient. It's probably in the hundreds of years old. And it just doesn't turn easy. Probably have to shorten it. It is just solid and hard, and big holes in it right here. This is a challenging little piece, which is kind of what we like. We like to have challenges. Just turning straight old pine or something easy to turn all the time, it kind of gets boring. Here. Okay. I think I see why that angle is taken on my. Okay, let me tighten this down again. Over here to the sharpener. Only about time when you go recalibrate all that sharpening equipment anyway. And that takes a full day to recalculate everything. That gets a little out of hand when you're freehanding it. Make sure that all your angles are properly set. Don't make that too hot. Let's see if we can. do need to be careful here. I'm getting into this section here. So I'm going to be real careful how kind of easier going from the outside from the inside out instead of from the outside in. Boy, that is loud. That's really loud. I think I ran into a little rock. Whew. Yeah, it broke the tip off my... I'm going to have to regrind the tip on this. It broke a little rock or something hit that. And I don't know if you can see that clearly in the screen here. Let's see if I pull back. See right here? Tip that right off. Huh. Well, we'll just set that one aside. See if we can move this one from here. I might have to go back to my car again. Okay, we are down to here. The screws are probably right up to about here, so I've got about that much still to go. And thank you for sticking with me, those of you that are here. This is kind of an adventure. get down in there a little bit closer now. I gotta get in there enough that it's not touching. There. I got a little better control of it. Really in our depth. There. Right about here. So we really don't have much more. I think I'm gonna have to go to the scraper now. I'm gonna scraper this out. This is actually really thin right here. Much thinner than it looks like on the top. So I think I'll scrape this out just a little bit. Trying to fix that little bottom there. Doesn't want to come out. I'll use this. There, I think we got it. I think we got as much as we can out of this piece of wood that really didn't look like it was going to be much of anything. We just basically have to sand this down, and can't wait to see what. Yeah, when I put oil on this, yeah, you're going to see that in about 3 or 4 minutes, I'd say. We'll see what this looks like. Let me get a good sanding on it. Ah, better put this on. It's going to be real dusty. This is real dusty sanding here. Okay, I'm going to reverse it. That already feels better. From that. Okay. We'll go to the next one. This is 120. We're going to go up to speed. About 12 to 1300. Better. Okay, we'll go to 240. This is going to look beautiful when we get the oil on it. You're going to really like it. We'll go a little bit more speed, so we go to about 1500 or so. Anyway, that's one dead soldier on the sanding side. Get that fixed. Okay. So, okay, you all waited patiently. You all waited patiently, so now you get to see what it looks like when we put the oil on it. All 47 of you in here. Gonna put some oil in this. Probably finish it off with a little beeswax later. But here we go. It's going to go on the outside. It's going to probably end up on the inside anyway. But we'll start on the outside. Oh man. I'm going to try and bring you over here without losing our signal. And let you kind of see that as we go here. Make sure we're getting into all the crevices, all the small places. And this being an old dry piece of wood, it will probably soak up, even though it's hard, it'll probably soak all this up through 3 or 4 coats. before it starts to puddle at all. Let me get the bottom here just a little bit. I'll get that more when I get it off of the chuck here. So. Okay, now we're going to go to the inside. What do you think, guys? You can get different tool rests, by the way. You were asking about tool rests up there. I know Mike's working on that limbo bowl this week. Well, first I thought he said limbo. I thought he was going to like lay a bowl out there and then try and climb underneath it, but I guess that wasn't what he wanted. He wasn't limbo, not limbo bowl. So. You know, Mike, someday your boy and Dave's boy from Timber Design is going to have a challenge, turning challenge between them once they get to the right ages. I want to see that. You agree? Okay. Okay, so there you go, guys. That's what it looks like. All oiled up. Better that you see this oiled up than see me oiled up, so I'm going to let that kind of soak in just a minute. So, hey, Ron, are you watching? Get on him, Alex. Well, I really appreciate everyone being here today and watching this, because I think this is a lot of fun. We did 3 turnings. I think I'll pull, well, this one's drying up a little bit. I'll pull up the other 2 in case any of you missed them earlier. This is the one that we were just kind of recentering. And this is the one that we were returning entirely, that had this horrible large, I mean, those are almost a 1/4-inch cracks in here, okay? Those are 1/4-inch cracks. We turned it anyway, and look on the inside, no cracks. They come in from here, they come inside, but they weren't here. And we were able to make a nice bowl out of this. Now, hopefully, we can dry it out and it stays nice. I think I've got a good shape to it. So this one came out, I think, pretty nicely. Pull back just a little bit so you can see that, okay? But I think those came out pretty nice. And then this one, this is the one from last week, and it was already a 1/4-inch or more out of round. So we reshaped it today. We didn't dig into the bottom or anything. We just kind of shaped out the sides a little bit. Took that beautiful, glorious finish that I had on the outside of this bowl, but I know this is elm, and I know that it's going to have a really nice tight bond. It's going to have a nice finish to it when we're done. I just need to get it to dry out some more. So both of these bowls are going into the dry out section. And this one is as dry as it's ever going to be, because it's been sitting around for probably 30 or 40 years after it was cut. You know, it's flinging oil at me right at the moment, but. Boy, I didn't want to give up. Okay, let me set an area here so I can take these screws out of the bottom. And I don't think anyone's really going to know that that's how I put. That's how I did this, because I could not get a tenon on it. But like I said, if you can't get a tenon, you don't want to do a glue chuck or something like that. Sometimes you can just go back to the old-fashioned way. Oops. Ouch. Well, that was just my feet. And of course, I'm going to sand this down a little bit on the bottom, get that all cleaned up. I'll probably fill this in with a little bit of stuff. You won't even know the holes are there. There's the inside of the bowl. See if I can get the light in here. There's the inside of the bowl. We got some peekaboo areas right here. That's okay. That was to be expected a little bit here. But we managed to keep it, even with all this, not sure what was going to happen on the outside here. We managed to keep this bowl, this olive burl. I think it still ended up being a very pretty piece of wood with all of its detriments going in. So, what do you guys think? Did we do pretty good today? Did we got three pretty interesting bowls, I think, three interesting pieces of wood. Thank you, Suzanne. I appreciate that. No, I'm sorry. This is oak burl, not walnut. This is oak burl. I'm sorry. No, this is oak. O-A-K. Oh, this is not olive. Olive burl is different. You'd have smelled the oil. I would have smelled the olive oil in turning it if it was olive. You've been watching and lurking? Okay, Dan. Thank you for that. And everybody that's in here today, I really do appreciate you being here. Please hit that like button on your way out the door today. Or please subscribe. I really, really want to try and get to 5K on our subscriptions. We're so close. I'm sorry if I said olive. I apologize. I meant to say oak. It's oak burl. It's oak burl. So I apologize for that, Eric. Anyway, but yeah, this is oak burl, and the other was elm, and I think the last one was. Gosh, I'm not sure. I got to remember, go back and look at my records and see which one that is now. But the other one I think was a. It's not cypress. I'll have to go look. Anyway, all three different kinds of woods when you line them all up, and all three had their own special issues. This was the least issued piece, other than the fact that it worked. But these two were both very much in the category of, why would you turn this piece of wood in the first place? You know, this is what, for both of these pieces, people would just go, that's fireplace, that's firewood, throw it on the fire. I do have a question for you. What would you like for next week? I have this piece of Modesto ash that I've been looking at for a while, and I think it's dried out enough. It's a big old chunk of wood. This thing probably weighs in it close to 15 to 20 pounds. So I'm thinking of turning this next week. Do you think that'd be an interesting one, or do you want me to try something different? You know what? Central. You mentioned Harbor Freight from Central Machinery. Harbor Freight now has an actual Bauer um, lathe for around $600 It's not bad. It's a kind of a midi lathe. It's actually a pretty good lathe, and you can do quite a few things on it. And the chuck that you were watching today, by the way, this chuck right here, this is a Harbor Freight chuck. It did a really good job, and I love this square mechanism. I think it's really easy to turn. It's sealed on the backside so it doesn't get dirty. So it really has a lot of good features to it. It's also indexed. So just as a general piece for about $100. If you catch it on sale, you can get it on sale I think for around $100. When they first came out, I got mine for under $100, and I think they retail at around $139 normally. But check the sales, check the 25% offs and things like that, and you can pick one of those up. And it has two or three different sets of teeth on it. Yeah. Well, I don't want to say teeth. Anyway, for gripping, so not a bad deal. The Whacking Shack, I was looking to start doing bigger things such as vases, and unfortunately I don't have Central Machinery in Northern Ireland. If you're going to do vases, one thing I would recommend is looking into getting a handy a steady rest, because what happens is you're extended way out here and you don't have any controls. A steady rest is a ring that goes around and the wheels hold on to the sides, and it kind of keeps everything in control a little bit better so it doesn't get out of whack. So a steady rest might be a real handy thing for you if you're going to do vases. It's worked for me in the past. No Harbor Freight in Ireland, that's for sure. But every country seems to have their own little discount or hideaway place that nobody knows about. So check out your favorite places, or check out some sort of discount. Another place, and this is just for everybody out there, whether you're in Ireland or wherever you're at, and that is check out estate sales, or what we call sometimes yard sales here, but estate sales when somebody has passed away and their family doesn't know what to do with all their tools and stuff, and so they have these estate sales, and you can find real bargains. If you saw the video that I had posted a couple weeks ago, if you haven't, go to my video section, not the lives, but you go to the regular video section, you'll see a video that I took of walking through a 101-year-old furniture maker. He died while still working on pieces of wood. He was 101 years old. And you'll see some of the tools that he had in his shop. And the family doesn't want them. His immediate family, his daughters and so forth, are in their 70s. And and so everybody's kind of the other generations don't really want to do it. So you could pick up some pretty good bargains at places like that. They have a 3-car garage full of woodworking tools. So you'll see deals like that. Take a look at that video. It's actually a pretty cool little video, and it's kind of interesting to see what people leave behind, right? Rarely have them in the UK, but we go to what we call charity shops. Yeah, there's charity shops, certainly. I don't want to get ghoulish and say, check the obituary sections of the paper or whatever, or online, but if you belong to any, another way is if you belong to any woodworking groups, and I'm sure there's woodworking groups around you there in Ireland. Every time in our woodworking group, almost every time somebody comes to the meeting bringing along a lot of the stuff that some member or somebody who used to be a member passed away, and they have all these tools or all this wood, and they say, please take what you can. And we've been very fortunate. Almost every time I've picked up 4 or 5 really nice pieces I brought back here and turned. So you can have a lot of different ways of obtaining low cost pieces for your wood turning and for woodworking in general. Super. What's this? Let's see. What'd you miss about the UK? Well, he was talking about there's no Harbor Freight, but there's other things. And I mentioned estate sales. He says they don't have too many of those, but they do have charity places. And yeah, sometimes they're donated to the church, and the church sells them. There's lots of different ways of finding it, but keep an eye out for those kind of sales. And I don't know, Wilson, if you saw this, but this was the end of the oak Burl piece that I turned. I was able to keep the wood together. The cracks were many and the voids were many, but we turned it anyway, and it's looking really nice. So there you go. That's what you missed. Yeah, Mike's old Franken lathe worked like a charm for a long time. He learned to turn a lot of wood on that. And he was. Oh yeah. I did not know that. That's cool. You're talking about the guy that I did the video on. You must have talked to them. Cool. I knew a guy that actually was a cowboy and a gold miner. And when I met him, he was almost 100 years old at the time. And I knew two of them. One guy was a wing walker in the 30s. This man was an engineer later on in life, but to make money when he was going to college, he was a wing walker back in the 20s and 30s. If you don't know what a wing walker is, they would climb out on the wing of a plane while it was flying a few hundred feet in the air and do acrobatics or stuff like that, and people would watch from the ground. And occasionally they would. They would have that. They would have a little accident or two, or the plane would crash. But he made it through all that and ended up working on the Long Beach Pier and helping build that, which is where a lot of ships now bring in all their stuff. Welcome to the club, Dan. Thank you for joining, and we will be doing some stuff for the membership here soon. So keep an eye out for that. And anybody else that wants to join that, that's fine too. I don't push it, but it's nice to have them in there. And I do try and do more and more things for the club when I can. It's just a matter of time more than anything else. But now that some of my obligations are out of the way, that's better. Okay, well, guys, I'm going to let it go here. I appreciate everybody being in here today. And I do thank you very much. We've been on for nearly 3 hours. And I really need to kind of sit down here for a minute. My legs are starting to go. So I'm going to thank everybody now. And if you have any questions or anything, you know how to contact me. Or please hit the like button. Please subscribe. If you're not subscribed, if you're one of the 54 people in here that hasn't subscribed, please subscribe right now. Just do it right now. Be the one that puts us over the top. Maybe you're the one that gets us to 5,000. I don't know. But we're so close that it would really help. So please, if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Guys, I will as soon as I find room for all of these bowls, I will start working on the ones for next week, because we will be back next week again. But boy, I'm gonna have to find a sale here pretty soon, because I got like 125 bowls piled up in the garage right now that are all done. So at some point, I gotta get some of these sold, or maybe we'll hand out a couple. Maybe this would be a good. Maybe somebody would like this as a gift. So if you think of that, or we might put this in as a drawing or something coming up. Okay. So thank you guys very much. We'll talk to you all soon. Hang in there. Have a great weekend.